Well, David, thank you for a beautiful intro. Hello, everyone, again. Great to see you here. I just came back from the coffee room in a virtual space, and much more people here, which is typically opposite. We are having a conference is a physical world. So, hello, welcome in this new normal. I'm happy that I can be here together with Pavel. Paul, we don't have a most sexy topic of the event because there was so much said about the cloud and cloudification. It's something many companies are not just talking about, but running many initiatives, projects, etc. We heard a lot about how to speed up. We heard a lot about how to prevent vendor lock-ins, etc. But my personal experience with the cloudification is that the majority of the talks or majority of the time spent when adopting the cloud are at least in heavily regulated industries connected to data privacy, because you are giving something out of you somewhere which is not completely maybe under your full control. And specifically in Europe and North America, the data privacy concerns are, after the introduction of GDPR, one of the highest one, and cloudification is bringing a lot of question marks which needs to be solved. And to be honest, companies are spending some time to elaborate through this and to find a way out to adopt the cloud, which is very native for the fintech startup community. But when we are talking about big corporation legacy companies, it's maybe the situation is slightly different. So, just to explain that for the beginning, that I'm not claiming any kind of security which is provided out of the box or custom-made security which is provided by the cloud providers. I'm more than sure that all the companies like Amazon, Google are investing so much money into to be safe and to be bulletproof in this domain, and their funding capabilities are huge, and also their branding and logos and the company awareness is connected with the be safe with us. So once again, I'm not claiming that there is any potential way not to help you in this domain, but still specifically given by the GDPR, properly designed security architecture is from time to time not enough when moving your data to the cloud, and especially when we are talking about moving your customer data to the cloud. And at the beginning of each unit, if you are somehow connecting two worlds, so you are having a long-term discussion on how to set up the proper data security architecture with the vendor, with the cloud service provider. And then within the contracting process, you have a lot of questions and a lot of negotiation about the contractual terms, where typically the organization heavily regulated, specifically in Europe under GDPR, are trying to transfer those requirements and potential penalties in case of any eventual data breaches towards the data privacy agreements. Well, but the world is not so easy, and we are talking about cloud adoption in fintech startup community. It's given by the nature. So yeah, if you are building a new product, new MVP within some fintech initiative, fintech project, typically you don't have a server room or data room or a place where you are installing the components. Typically, you are building those nice new project solutions directly using the cloud services. And you know, if you are a small business, you are just bringing new agile idea on the market. You are not funded in a way that there are $1 billion behind you. The beginnings are about 100,000 euros, maybe if you are for €1 million, etc. And on the opposite side, there are those potential customers, which are often from the heavily regulated industries, from banking, telco, insurance. And by the way, currently all are regulated by the GDPR if they are touching the customer, managing or processing the customer data. And just imagine the situation that you are the major banking player, and you would like to move all these potential fines, penalties related to data breaches towards the contract with a small fintech company where you would like to adopt the agile or some kind of software as a service solution, and we are like, you know, in a position of the wheel to the elephant, what could do the fintech community? We can say, well, maybe we can have an insurance, yeah, that if something goes wrong, there's someone who will take care of it. Or maybe there is someone closing the eyes and saying, oh, maybe we go beyond our financial strength, considering the financing of the small business. But to be honest, this is not a proper way forward. Yeah? Probably you feel that it's just a demonstration that is the duel is not completely equal. And for that situations where you are really want to try something new, which is completely built using cloud services, but you are still not on cloud adoption, on a stage where everything is clear and neat in the company. We are bringing you idea of data anonymization, which is somehow limitation of the eventual data breaches when data are leaving on-premise infrastructure and are moving towards the cloud. When we are talking about data anonymization, specifically in cloud, it doesn't mean that your whole data in organization should be anonymized before they are processed in the cloud. But here I would like to ask Pavel maybe to explain which kind of data are the one we recommend you to anonymize, and maybe what are the concepts, solutions, tools, principles, ideas, how to make these things available to you.
Okay, thank you, Mario. Hello, everybody. So before we show you how we approach the problem, let's consider what is subject to the anonymization. Well, some people from our client base, they are afraid that they would have to anonymize all of their data before they leave the on-premise, and before they are pushed to the cloud system, cloud databases. But the reality is not so bad. For example, if we look at our typical example, we have a client in a banking sector or a telecommunication sector, and typically the cloud system is some kind of a CRM system or campaign management solution where we need to work with the customer data, including their personal information for personalizing offers, for getting in touch. So we need obviously the telephone number, email addresses, their names, surnames, and some additional personal data. But this is only really a smaller set of PII data that otherwise the institution, a bank or a telco, needs to maintain. So I just wanted to demonstrate that the scale and volume of data, which is subject of this problem, is just this small window that I try to highlight here. That subject of the anonymization is just a subset of PII data in your organization that you will truly need to be placed in your cloud system. So, for example, in case of campaign management solution, that would be the data for like contact data and personal data for personalization of contacts. So now, what do we do in order to? What do we need to do about this set of PI data that we are afraid of to be exposed in a cloud system? So, well, we need to put an extra layer of security by making them anonymous or encrypted in such a way that if the cloud if it's compromised or is subject to an attack or intrusion, the intruder would not be able to make any sense of the data. So obviously, if we encrypt the data with our own keys or we anonymize them in some other way, we are on the safe side. Now, how to do this? How to ensure that we anonymize the sensitive data before they leave our on-premise systems, and at the same time, how to make sure that all other systems in downstream processing, if they need to make use of the data, how do we ensure that we can translate the data back transparently for them, to translate them back to original values, so that we do not impact performance or user experience. So we have, in our projects, we have developed a solution for anonymizing and de-anonymizing the personal data. And we have also bundled in a couple of tools within the integration that make it really transparent for users and for all other systems. How it works. So the whole concept is based on a centralized service, which we call PII Protector, Personally Identifiable Information Protector, which is it's really it's an application, it's a service that is used by all other systems if they want to work with the sensitive data. What it means that if any data is leaving your organization infrastructure to the cloud, it goes through and you can do it yourself, or we can help you with building an integration adapter. It goes through a single point which is responsible for loading the data into the cloud. And this component, this integration adapter, I call it, is passing all data first through the PII Protector service, effectively translating the original values to tokenized forms. Now you maybe you catch me that I'm speaking suddenly about tokenization. So maybe to explain, tokenization is a concept. It's one of the methods how you can anonymize your sensitive data in such a form that it's completely unreadable in the cloud. And at the same time, it's you can easily translate it back to the original values. We are not using some encryption keys and creating another worries about how to handle keys and how to rotate them, how to protect them. Instead, we are using lookup tables where we store the pairs of the original value and the token value. I'm demonstrating here on 3 examples. So for example, if we have 3 email addresses in our customer data mart, they pass through the PII Protector, and the protector automatically translates it to a token value, which has absolutely no meaning, except that you can see that what is in behind is an email address, but that's it. You cannot translate it back unless you have an access to the lookup tables. These lookup tables, of course, they need to be stored. We call it Secure Token Vault, which is a simple database sitting in your on-premise infrastructure, completely under your control. And nobody else is able to access the data except for the central component PII Protector.
Yeah, Pavel, may I interrupt you for a while? Because you gave me technically bulletproof explanation how to protect the data on top of the encryption which is given out of the box by the cloud service or cloud provider. But to be honest, when I'm using the raw data in a cloud, I can work with as a business user. Okay? I can see them, I can work with them, etc. And right now, I'm the same business user, and I'm using your concept of tokenization, data anonymization. How it works from the user perspective? This is something that might have impact on the user experience, and just way how to play with them.
Yes. Of course. So you would say that by replacing original values with tokens, putting the tokens in the cloud. Now, if I'm running some application like a CRM system or a campaign management system, I would have to be confronted with these tokens. Instead of seeing the true email address or telephone number, I would see just these meaningful tokens. So how do I work with it? For that purpose, we have developed a couple of tools that make it that minimize the impact on user experience. And Mario, if you can go to another slide, this is a very easy example of a simple application for end users who needs to translate from between tokens and original values. Very easy application where you can input, you can enter the original value, have it tokenized for you, and then use it in the cloud system. Or do it the other way around. So if the system gives you a token, you can paste the token into the application and convert it to the original value. Now this may well, on the other slide you see an example screen from Exponea, which is a cloud marketing tool, where this is one small example. So on the previous in the first step, I had my telephone number being converted to a token. You see the exhibit something, this is the token. I copy it to my clipboard and use it in the application on the next slide. So here I'm defining some filtration rules for a campaign, for example, and I'm filtering for a specific telephone number, now represented by a token. So in this case, I look up a customer and I can display his profile. And as you can see on the screenshot on the right side, there are a couple of more personalized information, personal information, which are encrypted, which are tokenized. You see on the IMCI, MSI ISDN, etc. Name, last name, first name, all of these are tokenized. So this is the proof that the personal data is tokenized here. And of course, I can do it the other way around. I can copy, for example, the telephone number in form of a token and translate it back using the application. Of course, this is just another example. Some more complicated rules where we use the token values. Maybe Mario on another one, because we're running out of time. We also support using the bulk operations. So, for example, we can an end user who has, for example, an Excel file with list of customers, he can completely translate the complete list can be translated on a push button, on one single button click to a list, and you can paste the list to the campaign management system, for example, like this. Some people would still see this as quite an impact on user experience. In this case, typically the cloud systems are thin client applications, of course, where you are running the application in a browser. For these situations, which is majority of situations, we have implemented a plugin to a web browser that scans for the tokens on the screen automatically for you, and makes contact to the central PII protector component and translates it automatically for you. So on the screen, as you can see on the left side, the screen shows you the original telephone numbers, email addresses, names, surnames, whatever personal data you can see on the screen. It's automatically translated by the plugin. We have a plugin for the major browsers that are used in the institutions. So it's Chrome, it's Opera, it's Firefox, and we are working on Edge. It's important to say that, of course, this plugin, since it's making a connection to a PII protector, the user, of course, must be authorized to make that connection. Otherwise, of course, he will not be able to see the original values. So this is the way how the end user is, in most of the cases, he's completely, the tokenization is made completely transparent for him. So he can see the original values in the application, and only in case he needs to look up something to search for a particular customer by name or by telephone number or something, then he will switch to the GUI, the simple GUI, where he can translate the real name to a token value and to use the token value in a search box, for example.
Yeah, so right now I'm much more comfortable when understanding when having Chrome plugin is using Chrome is the winning situation. But correct me if I'm wrong, there are more browsers you are supporting. Great. Maybe last question from mine before we can come to the conclusion. Performance. When working with anonymized data, there should be definitely certain data transformation on the way, etc. We are in real-time architectures, waiting for any milliseconds extra. It's nothing you would like to see. What's your experience with the performance impact of the data anonymization in data-rich solutions? Yeah, let's put it into that. We are not talking about some small application, but really major system.
Okay, so this example was about the user impact. Now speaking about the performance impact, the PII protector first, we have to say that it supports transactional processing, so you can anonymize and de-anonymize single data elements or single customer records, or you can use it in batch mode. For example, if you want to do a regular update of data in the cloud system. If we speak about the transactional processing, typical delay is in a fraction of a second. So yeah, if you have a Chrome plugin, it may take, for example, half a second or maybe a second before the tokens are translated for me to the original values. So it's really just a glimpse. And speaking about the batch data processing or bulk loading of data to a cloud system, we have experience with tens of gigabytes of daily data processing, and the typical delay in these implementations is like minutes to small tens of minutes if we speak about volume about 100 gigabytes or so, which is quite a lot. Yes, sometimes the delay may be longer for initial loads, but as we progress with daily loads, the delay doesn't increase because data there's not more and more distinct values to be tokenized. There are less and less of those instances where we have to tokenize something. So it's really we do not suffer from scalability problems. The solution is scalable. And speaking about the scalability, the PII protector, we run it in Kubernetes, so completely scalable. We have experience with large implementations with tens of millions of customers without like a delay that would be impacting the system performance.
Oh, thank you for the explanation. If there are any more questions towards the how it's designed, how it works, what is the experience, I would strongly recommend to have one-to-one session with you and the colleagues who are co-author of this concept, which is used by Adastra. Let me just sum up a few takeaways from this session. That again, we have strong IT data security capabilities provided directly by the cloud providers, when it comes to GCP, Azure, Amazon, and the players which are using their services and building new software solutions on top of that. We have a power of the contractual legal world, and this is everything we have in place. But still, if the adoption is slowed down due to data privacy reasons, and you have concerns and you would like to add something extra, please have in mind that there is some anonymization, data anonymization concept which can be used as out-of-the-box component developed by Adastra for any of data sensitive industries. Well, so it's the end of the presentation. I will check if we have some question, or David, please assist me if you see something which I can't see.
Yes. There was one question regarding data. Let me quickly check that.
Yeah, I see. We are mixing anonymization and pseudonymization on the slides regarding terminology. So maybe Pavel, can you please try to respond?
Let's say the anonymization. We typically use the word anonymization for situations where we completely scramble data in such a way that they cannot be converted back to their original values, or maybe, for example, two distinct values could be possibly anonymized into as a single value. You cannot go back, from that point. With pseudonymization, we are ensuring that same value is translated to the same anonymized value consistently across systems, environments, tables, everything. So it's consistent and can be converted, and you can always revert back to your original values through those lookup tables. You can also employ additional algorithms for tokenization, so you don't really have to be using those tokens like we presented. There are also other options. For example, if we have these lookup tables, you can do a nice scrambling where, for example, you would like to scramble first names, and so you would be still using first names, so they really look like first names, but you would be replacing Paul with Thomas and completely moving it around. So this would be, for example, the case if you want to create a development environment or testing environment, or non-production environment, then you would be able to use this tool also with slightly different approach to how you tokenize or how you convert or scramble the data in the background.
Okay, so another way the PII project can work with all algorithms which are one directional, so anonymized data without the way back, and also the other way around as a tokenization, where you are able to restructure data in anonymized data in a way that they are again readable. Yes. So, but okay, thank you for the question, and need to be correct in your wording used in the presentation. Good. Do we have some more questions? We are completely out of time, but still, if
yes,
we have a few seconds for the remaining questions.
Any more? Yep. Doesn't seem to be the case.
Okay.
In that case, well, it's my turn to say thank you a lot for giving this talk. It's good to see that a cloud environment, if set up by experts who know what they're doing, is safe and robust. And even beyond just good architectural decisions, it can be helped with anonymization, tokenization, the concepts we just talked about, to help us, all of us that need to deal with cloud and have security concerns, sleep a little bit better. So that was very helpful. And yeah, if you trust the experts, they can help you definitely, for sure. Okay, so if there are any more questions, or if you felt that your question was not answered sufficiently, which I don't hope, but you never know, then please, by all means, do check out like our virtual environment here. And once again, also for the new people that are flocking in already for the next session, there is a virtual showroom that we have set up here for this Data Innovation Day. You can have a look at that, where some of our experts are standing and can interact with you. You can also, of course, chat amongst each other. There's a cafeteria area. You will find additional materials to all the sessions today. There is white papers, case studies, like a bunch of interesting stuff. So if you're really interested to do a deep dive, do not miss that. Let's check out our showroom here. Okay, with that being said, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the coffee room. Bye.
Yes.